What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week, give you all of your tech news from the past 7 days in one single video. And if you wanted to know about the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3's official specs, we run through all of that, especially a surprise at the end that's kind of disappointing about those specs. So, you'll see the specs, and then one of the last videos at the end of this one, you'll get a little bit of disappointment from that potentially. Some official marketing material with BTS, the biggest band in the world right now, with Samsung. We've got information on the new Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. I'm talking specs, I'm talking like the actual look of the phone, the features, all of that, all straight from the horse's mouth, that being Google, and so much more. So enjoy this week, and we'll see you in the next one. Today was a crazy big leak day, official leak day from Google about their Pixel 6 and 6 Pro phones. Like, this is the way to stop leaks about your phone. Like, Samsung should probably do the same thing. Get the hype built on their train, let them control the narrative instead of it going in all these different directions. Google did this again this year. They seem to be doing this every single year now. And we basically know everything about this phone except for the price and a few other things. But regardless, let's look at all the things that they tweeted out today about this phone. Let's do it now. It says, here's a sneak peek at the newest Google phones powered by Google Tensor, the brand new chip designed by Google, custom made for Pixel. Meet the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Both are coming later this year. We'll tell you a little about them in this. And then we go to the second one. It says, let's start outside and work our way in. The Pixel 6 Pro will come in 3 color combos. Pixel 6 has 3 color combos. Pro tip, the Pixel phones with more space above the camera bar equal the 6 Pro. And it shows off, when we look at a bigger photo of this, you can see the red phone, the gunmetal color, you have the blue, you have the yellow, whitish, and then another gunmetal. And just ultimately, I'm loving the design here. I like the camera bar going across. It's different, or it's a call for a little, from the past, I guess you could say. So I don't mind it at all, and the color combos are interesting. Number 3, Hello Bar. Pixel 6 has 3 cameras, including a telephoto lens with a 4x optical zoom. Pixel 6 has the same great cameras as the Pixel 6 Pro, just no telephoto. We're leaving telephoto to the pros, you could say. Number 4 says, hey, we're going to call it Pixel 6 for the rest of this, but we mean both Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Cool? Cool. We made a chip. Pixel 6 is powered by our first ever smartphone, Meet Google Tensor. And they show off a little video showing off the power, or proposed power, of this new chip that Google has made. The highlight of Tensor is that it can process Google's most powerful AI and ML models directly on Pixel 6. You'll see a transformed experience for the camera, speech recognition, and many other features. Their 7th one says, we wish we could show you some photos, examples on the Pixel 6, but that will need to wait. That said, if you want to see what Pixel can already do with the Pixel camera, check out our Instagram. Shameless plug, sorry. All right, let's talk UI. Remember Material U from I/O? Friendly reminder, if you don't have it bookmarked like us, take a quick watch. We'll give you a minute. Material U will be best on Pixel 6. The colors, the camera, the form, and what's on the screen will all work together in a single fluid experience. Switching gears a bit, let's talk speech. Speech recognition is another foundational technology where you will see a huge improvement in Pixel 6. Google Tensor allows us to make big leaps in voice commands, translation, captioning, and dictation. Lastly, Pixel 6 area we're going to share for now. Pixel 6 is also built with some more layers of hardware security in any phone based on account of separate hardware security layers. All right, one last piece of info. Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, powered by the brand new Google Tensor chip, are coming this fall. That's all we're going to share for now. And then their 13th one says, thanks Team Pixel for hanging out for a preview of our first inside and out Google phones, 6 and 6 Pro. For more images and sign up for our additional info. When we click on that link in the last one, it brings us directly to Google's store, and it says all new, all Google coming fall 2021. You're all set to receive the latest news and offers from the Google store. And just a very cool overall look and feel to everything. I love where Google's going with this. I love the early leak of them officially coming out and talking about this phone. I love that they're making their own processor and they control the whole narrative. They're controlling the story of the leaks. They're controlling the narrative of the phone and not having to rely on software-wise and hardware-wise too much with any other companies. I mean, obviously they work with other companies on the hardware, like such as the display and some of the other internal components as well. But once they make their own chip, they're going to be able to push out updates faster probably. You're looking at them being able to control more of the video and photo needs. I heard MKBHD did a video on this, and he talked about official information from them saying that the camera experience, especially on the video side, was greatly improved and that it looks a lot better than it did before. So there's a lot of good to come out of this. You're looking at prices for these phones that are probably going to be premium priced phones. That probably might be one of the downsides, but if you get beyond that and you just buy a premium phone regardless, I think this is going to be a great experience, and it's finally, hopefully, going to give Samsung a run for their money on the Android side, because we need it. Samsung, I feel like in the camera department, has been a little bit stagnant, and this Google hopefully will really push them to the next level, and everybody else as well. Next up, the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. They have a new way of pairing them to your phone, and I don't know if you're gonna love it, so check this out. This screenshot comes from their app, and in the app, the little small verbiage that is highlighted in red says, to connect your Galaxy Buds 2, put each of the buds in the case, then touch and hold both earbuds for 3 seconds until the light starts blinking red and green. And then at that point, you would just go into your Bluetooth settings, or maybe it would just fast pair with your phone and you'd be able to connect it that way. But kind of interesting that they're seemingly changing this or going. I thought it was like this in the past. Maybe it wasn't, but yeah, that's going to be a new way that you'll be able to pair the Galaxy Buds 2. Do you like that or not? Let me know in the comments down below. And our last story of the day comes from 9 to 5 Google, saying Galaxy Watch 4 reportedly hits up to 7 days of battery life on top of the new Wear OS. This is great news. Imagine having 7 days of battery life on your super smartwatch. That's a really, really long time. I'll be surprised if I get this watch. I'll be surprised if I end up getting 7 days of battery life. It seems a bit extreme. It would probably settle into the 4 days, I would guess. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but yeah, 7 days is amazing. Hopefully we do get that. First story of the day is about sales of the Galaxy S21 series of phones and how drastically awful they are versus the past 2 generations of phones. And we're seeing a big decline overall from the S10 now onto the S21 series. And it's kind of scary, and it kind of makes you think, is Samsung as a whole on a huge decline in the mobile space? Because they have a lot more competition and a lot more people are putting their money towards budget phones. And don't get me wrong, Samsung makes budget phones, but we're just talking about the S line here and the decrease in sales. So let's check out these numbers and talk about this afterwards. So this information, this is coming from Joshua Swingle. He got it from the Business Post over in Korea, saying that the Galaxy S21 doesn't seem to be selling too well. A new report says sales are down 20% compared to the S20 and 47% compared to the S10 in the first 6 months of availability. So again, these numbers are the first 6 months of sales for each of these phones. S10 sold 25.5 million in a 6-month stretch. S20 sold 17 million, and now it's on a decline to 13.5 million, or almost half of the amount of the S10 total sales. This is bad. It's really bad, because where are people buying these phones now? Which phones are they buying? Are they buying the budget phones from Samsung? Are they buying the higher end phones like the Z Flip and the Z Fold? What are they doing? And now we don't have the Note line, this year at least anyway. So it leads all things to looking kind of abysmal and bad for Samsung as a whole. And again, this doesn't tell the whole picture. They could be
killing it massively in the lower end, phone market, and maybe that's where all their sales went, because the lower end phones are becoming a lot more competitive versus these higher and mid-tier phones. But still, it's a little bit scary when you think about all of what's going on. What do you guys think? Why do you think Samsung's not selling as many S phones as they have in the past? Let me know in the comments down below. And the last story of the day, extremely slow news day, so I pulled this thought anyway from an article that Sam Mobile wrote. Sam Mobile put a little article, and we just really need the headline from this. And they say, does Samsung need a one more thing moment for upcoming Unpacked event? As you know, Unpacked is on August 11th. And what they mean by one more thing, it's an old thing that Apple has done. Steve Jobs mostly did this, saying, oh, and one more thing. And they would announce some other new product or new service or something like that to kind of continue that buzz of all the new products they announced for the day. And it was like a surprise at the end of the show. And the question that remains is, does Samsung need a one more thing for Unpacked that's coming out August 11th? Because we know basically everything that's coming out for that event. We know it's the Galaxy Z Flip 3, the Z Fold 3, the Galaxy Watch 4, the Galaxy Buds 2. Do we need something else thrown in there, like a Galaxy S21 Fan Edition? Do we need something exciting like their relationship with AMD and how that's going to show huge performance gains over devices that they have out right now? Is it going to be some other new device we don't even know about that they're going to talk about? Or do you think the Galaxy Unpacked event as a whole is good enough and great enough that we don't need a one more thing? I'll answer the question with, I don't think we need a one more thing, but at the same time, having that one more thing can be very, very exciting, because I love surprises. I love not knowing what's going to happen, but then I also do love knowing what's going to happen. It's kind of that double-edged sword where you want to know, but you don't want to know, but you really do want to know at the end of the day, because you want to know what's going to happen in the future. And with that said, I don't think there's too much they could get us too excited about in terms of something that would, revolutionize or not take away from that event at hand. Like if they were like, oh, and one more thing, we have a tri-fold phone coming out, or a quadruple fold phone coming out, or we have these phones with the AMD processor graphic units in them and they outperform these phones. Like people are gonna be like, whoa, why am I gonna buy this phone now when I can just wait a few more months and get those phones? So I don't know if they should do a one more thing, and they usually don't. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. These are the successor to the Galaxy Buds, Buds Plus. They're going to very much compete with the Galaxy Buds Pro in terms of specs. And speaking of specs, let's go through the full specs that have been leaked out about these buds. So here we go. This tweet comes from Snoopy, and Snoopy has pulled these from online, but basically I like this where he's just kind of tweeted them all out. But basically here we go. Galaxy Buds 2 specs, you're gonna get Bluetooth 5.2 inside. The battery for each bud will be 61 milliamps, and then the case will have a 472 milliamp battery. It's gonna have a glossy finish, ambient sound and active noise cancellation for them, so you'll be able to hear what's going on you if you want, and you'll also be able to block some of that out as well. 3 microphones to help with active noise cancellation and the ambient sound, and with talking on the phone. If for battery life, you're looking at 18 hours with active noise cancellation, which equates out to 5 hours on the buds and then 13 in the case. If you don't use active noise cancellation, you get up to 28 hours. So that's 80 hours through the buds themselves and then another 20 through the case. 55 minutes battery with 5 minutes of charging. They are wireless charging compatible with Qi. 2 speakers with 11 millimeter woofers and 6.5 millimeter tweeters, and they are IPX7 water resistant. So looking at Galaxy Buds 2 coming out August, probably 27th. Next up, check this out, a limited edition Galaxy Fold 3 and Galaxy Z Flip 3, and they're gonna be released by Caviar, and ultimately with these, they're gonna be very, very expensive. First, let's look at this Galaxy Z Flip 3, and it's part of their Skull collection. This is going to start off at $46,000 for the phone, because of the fact that not only is the phone expensive, but also because there's only going to be 20 of these custom made phones, along with 18 carats of white gold for the skull. And then also you get the 400 gems as well. And then when we take a look at the Galaxy Z Fold 3, it also has a skull. And this one's going to start off at about $10,000, or almost $10,770. and have 99 pieces of this phone out in circulation, and it's going to be designed with a Ragnarok. And I don't know, I'm not really too into this, but if you are, you can spend a lot of money and get a pretty much custom designed Z Flip 3 and or Z Fold 3. And our last story of the day, all about the under display camera of the Galaxy Z Fold 3. We've heard the gamut of everything on this, but we haven't heard too much in terms of like, is there certain colors of the display or certain backgrounds that the display will be on where you can actually see the camera? Because we heard you can see some pixelization around the camera area. So let's get into a little bit more in-depth information on that. This comes from Max Weinbach. His tweet says, the front screen on the Z Flip 3 is larger. It looks cool. Sides are flat. The Z Fold 3 has an under display camera. You can see the individual pixels on a white background, and on any other color, it's hard to see. Yay, it's cool, but not groundbreaking in my opinion. So it seems like if you really don't want to see any pixelization or the camera at all on the Z Fold 3 when the display is completely wide open, you probably won't want to use a white background. You're going to want to use some colored background or a black background or just something that's not white, which to me, I usually don't have white backgrounds. I either use I like dark mode, and I like colored, gradient wallpapers, so I'll probably be fine, but it is something to know if you're a white background lover of wallpapers and things like that. You're probably gonna see a little bit of pixelization where the camera sits on the new Z Fold 3 when it's completely wide open. Our first story of the day is about the Pixel 5a. This story just broke right as I was about to go live. This story broke out from Mr. John Prosser, and on his website he put out here that the Pixel 5a knows the specs and the price, and as you can see, it says it's going to be launching later this month at $450. This is what it's going to look like, and basically it kind of sounds like a regular Pixel 5 at that. So what you're looking at here is it's going to come into the color of mostly black. The display will be a 6.4 inch 60 hertz display. You can force it to 90 hertz. The processor inside will be the Snapdragon 765G, which if I remember correctly is the same one as the Pixel 5. Battery is going to be 4650 milliamps, so it's a fairly good sized battery in there. Wireless charging, no. RAM will be 6 gigabytes, and it's also going to have the same camera setup as the Pixel 5 from last year. IP67 dust and water resistant. Headphone jack, and like I said earlier, price will be $450. Staying on this Pixel wave that we're on, what about the Pixel Fold? We really haven't heard that much about this phone lately, and especially when it's supposed to launch later this year, and we still don't really know what it's going to physically look like. I mean, we kind of do. It's supposed to be looking like a Galaxy Z Fold 2 and 3, more so like a Fold 2, but we really don't know that much about it. It's like, what's going on with this phone? Well, this tweet comes from Yogesh, and I think this adds a little insight to what's going on, saying info dripping out of Google surrounding the foldable Pixel project has slowed down quite a bit after the last round of Pixel 6 leaks. As per analysts, the project is still on track, but I think the phone will be shown off at the hardware event and put on sale sometime next year. Now, his is a little bit of an opinion piece mixed with some actual information, but I actually think he's right. I think since we don't know and haven't really seen that much about this phone, I don't think it's going to come out this year, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to this, but I really think it's going to fall into early next year, especially when they have this Pixel 6 and 6 Pro being really high spec'd out phones. Those phones are going to be, big time phones in terms of the higher end of the market. Pixel Fold's going to be the same thing, higher end of the market. I know they're kind of different. One folds, and the Fold will probably be more expensive as well. But all things said, I think the Pixel Fold will probably fall into early next year, especially when Google generally doesn't have any phones that are coming out in the first half of the year. So you're probably looking at the Pixel Fold coming out early next year. Next two stories include the Galaxy Z Fold 3, and you can see right here, Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Flip 3 have upgraded vibration motors. And what he means by that, obviously, is that the vibrations that you get within the phone have to be from notifications, or the phone's ringing, or maybe a game, or just anything that uses that vibration motor. It's going to feel a lot stronger, a lot better, a lot more detailed. So you can look forward to that. If you love vibrating motors, Z Fold 3 and Flip 3 are going to be the phone you want to get. And the last story of the day, as you can see, the custom models of the Z Fold 3 and Flip 3 are still working with Tom Brown, and we've said that before, but this time around it's going to be white in the main color. So I think that's kind of interesting. So the Tom Brown editions of the Z Flip 3 and Fold 3 will be, the main color of them will be white, and they'll be decked out with the Tom Brown stripes and colors and everything else you would expect with that. Could look pretty cool, but it's also, remember, going to be mega expensive, probably $1,000 or $1,500 more than what it costs just to get the non-Tom Brown edition. We got a few stories today. We have complete full specs that we're going to go through. Literally, like every single spec, leaves nothing to the imagination for the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Galaxy Z Flip 3. But before we jump into those, there's been some leaked marketing images of Samsung, their new Z Fold 3 line that have been leaked out. I'm not going to post them on here. If you want to read the article and see all the images, it's linked down below. I'm not doing it, dude, I don't want to run into copyright things, so that's why I'm not going to post it. But if you want to check it out, it's linked down below. But with that said, I kind of wanted to go through, if you're not going to check out the article, what it seems like Samsung and how they're going to market the Galaxy Z Fold 3. When I looked at all the images, I read all the verbiage. To me, it sounds like they're really pushing multitasking on this device, being able to run, I think they said like up to 8 apps at once, 5 floating ones, and then 3 apps, just sitting on top of the display. So 8 apps total, and being able to use the S Pen while you're multitasking and having multiple windows open, and how it has water resistance. But ultimately, it seems like the big thing that they're pushing is multitasking, running multiple windows, and it makes sense because you have this huge display, and you can run multiple windows at the same time on it and do different things, and not get caught by switching between windows. You can have everything on one display, and you can run multiple apps on other displays as well that Samsung markets, and other Android phones as well. But it's a little bit easier to see and do with a display this big. So when you see the marketing images for the Galaxy Z Fold 3, again, multitasking, water resistance, it's kind of like the key areas. With that said, let's jump into the full specs first of the Galaxy Z Flip 3. And again, this will pretty much leave nothing to the imagination. This information is being released by WinFuture, that's run by Roland Quand. And let's go into these specs first for the Galaxy Z Flip 3. So you're looking at One UI 3.1 and Android 11, 6.7-inch foldable display with a display resolution of 2640 by 1080. It's 425 ppi with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. It's going to be an AMOLED 2X display with 120 hertz, and then the outside display will be 1.9 inches or 260 by 512 pixels. Snapdragon 888 inside. The storage capacity will be 128 and 256 UFS 3.1. Only 8 gigs of RAM, no matter what size of storage you get, only 8 gigs of RAM. It'll have that dual camera, 12 megapixel camera setup. Front camera will be 10 megapixels. The video is going to be up to 8K on this phone. You'll also be able to do 4K. I'm assuming you'll be able to do 4K 60 and things like that. I'm not sure on the frames per second on each of those, but you would assume 8K is going to be at 30 frames. Particulars, you're going to get a side-mounted fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, GPS stereo speakers, which is a nice change, geotagging, and IPX8 water resistant. Also, you're going to have accelerometers, fingerprint sensors, gyro sensors, geomatic sensors, Hall sensors, light sensors, proximity sensors. It'll have a nano SIM and eSIM. You'll be able to get this in LTE, 5G, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, USB Type-C. Obviously, it's not going to have that chip in there that allows you to use Samsung Pay anywhere and everywhere, so you'll be stuck with just NFC. It's going to come in the colors of Phantom Black, Cream, and Lavender, 3300 milliamp battery, fast charging, wireless charging, and then you see the weight and the dimensions. Let's jump over to the Galaxy Z Fold 3 here. Again, running Android 11 UI 3.1, 7.6-inch 2208 by 1768 display with 374 ppi. Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. AMOLED 120 hertz display. The 6.2-inch Super AMOLED display is 2260 by 832 on the front with 387 ppi. Snapdragon 888, 256 and 512 3.1 storage. 12 gigabytes of RAM. Doesn't look, at least per these specs, it will be a 16 gig. We've heard China will get that, but we'll see. Triple camera setup of 12 megapixels. Everything has, the front cameras are going to have that dual camera. You'll get 4 megapixel under the display and a 10 megapixel on that front display. Video up to 8K, 4K, 1080p, everything in between. You're going to have a fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, GPS, stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos technology, geotagging, IPX8, acceleration, fingerprint sensor, gyro sensor, geomatic sensor, same sensors as the Z Flip 3. It'll come with nano SIM and eSIM, 4G, 5G, Bluetooth 5.0, Phantom Green, Phantom Black, and Phantom Silver will be the colors. 4400 milliamp, very small battery. Fast charging, wireless charging as well, and then you see the dimensions and the height. And that's pretty much what we got so far. August 11th is the official date they're going to launch these phones. I wanted to tell you, because I haven't really promoted it that much except for a video I've done or two. If you guys want to sign up and reserve your phone, there's a link down below. What that does, it puts you in line to get the phone, and you get a few extras. You'll end up getting the 1 year of insurance. You'll get an extra $100 with your trade-in, and you get a free, pre-order gift when you do it. But yeah, check it out. It doesn't lock you into having to buy the phone, but it just allows you to get the phone. So it's kind of like a safety net for you. Think of it like that. We have a couple stories about the Unpacked event and also a story about the S Pen Pro. The first two stories, though, are about Unpacked and BTS, the Korean boy band, the biggest band really in the entire world at this moment. And we talked about them earlier in performing at Unpacked, and now it's pretty much official because Samsung is coming out with these two tweets that we're going to talk about right now. The first one they released yesterday, and the one that came out yesterday says, "BTS is ready, how about you? Show us how you get ready to unfold new experience. Tag us in your pictures and videos." And they have, a little video thing of BTS singing to Butter or dancing to Butter. But ultimately, it's, they want you to reserve the phone, which I also have linked down below. So click on the link for that. And now they want you to tag you in their pictures and photos with hashtag Samsung Unpacks, hashtag Unfold Challenge, and hashtag with Galaxy. The other tweet that they put out today says, "BTS wants to know what you want to see unfold with your phone. Hashtag Samsung Unpacked, reserve now." And they have 4 right here. They have epic movie watching, of course, because the screen is absolutely gigantic for a mobile phone, so you get a beautiful movie experience. Multitasking power, obviously that, because you can run multiple apps at once on here. Next level gaming, because there's a Snapdragon 888, which is on the Android side the most powerful processor at the moment. And also jaw-dropping style, because of the fact that is a very interesting looking device. So I think those are all reasonable reasons as to why you might be excited for the new Galaxy Z Fold 3. But if you think about all of those, you can do all of those pretty much with the Galaxy Z Fold 2 already. So they're not like, even though they're good reasons, it's like, well, why don't I just buy a Galaxy Z Fold 2? They should have added something else in there that was more relevant or better, which all those things, let's be honest, are probably a little bit better on the Z Fold 3 versus Z Fold 2, but there should have been something almost exclusive that the Z Fold 3 can do that the Z Fold 2 can't. But regardless, let me know your top 4 things about the Galaxy Z Fold 3 that are exciting. Last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S Pen Pro. This isn't out yet. It's going to be compatible with the S21 Ultra. It's going to be compatible with the Z Fold 3 and whoever knows whatever other devices as well. There's a picture floating around. I'll link it down below. But ultimately what I wanted to say is I wanted to show you the function through this regular S Pen of where all the buttons are and what they're going to do on the new S Pen Pro. So I'm going to look down a little bit. So first of all, we're going to get the Bluetooth function on and off toggle. So up the top here, there's going to be an on-off switch for the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen Pro. Why would you want that? So you can do the functions, like the air gestures when you're holding your phone here. You can do air gestures. You can use this as a shutter button for your camera and start, just control your phone basically with the Bluetooth. That's what's exciting about the Bluetooth. So you'll have an on-off switch in case, you're concerned about the battery dying. The next one is 2 buttons at the bottom. There's a pairing button and a function button. So the pairing button, they'll be about right here, probably in the similar place where this button is. So ultimately, to pair it, you'll have a button right here on the upper part. You press and hold that. That'll get into Bluetooth pairing mode, and you can pair it with another device. The function button will be down below here. That'll probably enable you to do select things that are on the screen, to use it as like kind of a button to do things, to press it, and it'll do the camera function to snap a photo or start a video. You could probably long press it to do other things. So that's really what that button, that multifunction, is going to be, and that's the only buttons on there for the S Pen Pro. First story of the day is a reminder. I've said this the last few days, and I want to keep reminding you because the event for Samsung Unpacked is coming up this coming week, and August 11th is literally days away at this point. So if you want to reserve the phone and get, as you can see here, you'll end up getting $100 in extra trading credit. You'll get your first 12 months of Samsung Care Plus included with the phone, which is $155 value, and an extra special offer towards Galaxy products during pre-order. Then click the link down below in the description, fill out the form, and you will be in the mixing pot of all of us other reservations, so that when the phone does come out, you're kind of locked in and you can pre-order it. It doesn't financially get you stuck into anything, so if you're worried about that, and don't. It's really everything good. If you decide to get it, great. If you don't, nothing lost. It takes 2 seconds to fill out the form. So link down below. If you plan on it or you're kind of on the edge, at least do it. I mean, it's smart to just reserve it. Next up are the pre-order gifts that will be given for the Galaxy Z Fold 3 in Europe, and not that big of a surprise, but also not, for me anyway, not that exciting. So here it is. And this comes from Snoopy, and we'll just jump down to his second line because we've gone through the complete spec sheets before. Trade-in promo for Europe will be buy the Z Fold 3 and you get a cover, aka a case, with the S Pen and a 25-watt adapter, aka a 25-watt charger. So basically, if you pre-order it in Europe, Galaxy Z Fold 3, obviously you'll get that phone, but you'll also get a case with an S Pen. That case will hold the S Pen, and then you also get a 25-watt charger. That 25-watt charger hasn't been included in the box the last few phones that Samsung's put out, so this is a way of them giving it to you. I don't know, not that exciting. I'd much rather see the Galaxy Buds 2 included with the pre-order gifts, but I think in America, and I think other places, you will probably be able to get the Galaxy Buds 2, but at least in Europe or parts of Europe, this is going to be the pre-order gifts that you will get. And speaking of the full spec sheet that came out, there's a little bit of a disappointing news that has come out and seemingly is wrong in the original spec sheet that we spoke about, and it's not the end of the world, I'll say that much, and it's also not probably that big a deal. I doubt most of you even use this feature. I would guess 90% or more don't even use it, maybe even higher. So with that said, let's get into this. Here's the tweet from Roland Quand. It says the Fold 3 charges at 25 watts. We know that, that's what we've been dealing with. 25 watts is not fast compared to a lot of the other phones such as OnePlus and Xiaomi and other manufacturers on the board, but it's par for the course for Samsung, and has max video recording resolution of 4K. That's right, it's only going to be able to max record video at 4K. There was a spec sheet that showed 8K. It's only going to be 4K max resolution, but you'll be able to play videos back at 8K resolution, but no 8K recording. So that was the disappointing part. We heard that it was going to be 8K video recording. That's not true. So 4K will be the max, which is honestly completely fine with me. I mean, I've done 8K video tests on these phones before, but I don't set my phone to that just because of how much storage it ends up using. And it makes sense anyway because the resolution of the camera has to be, I think someone wrote in the comments because I don't know by heart, 33 megapixels. And obviously this phone is set to 12 megapixels on the back there. So 4K max video playback, and then or video recording, I should say, and then 8K videos can be played on the phone if that's any kind of consolation prize. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question now to you guys is, which resolution do you record your videos at on your phone? Because by default, Samsung sets it to 1080p. Most everybody, Apple included, sets their resolutions when to record videos at 1080p. You have to physically go in there to change it to anything else. 4K, 8K. Let me know what you do it at. What's one of the first things I always do is I go in, I change the resolution to 4K. Let me know about you guys, what you set it at. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.